Hello, I am here to show you how I do chunky glitter dip powder, and I will be using the Dippsters Custom Dips liquids and this really beautiful dip color called Leave Me Abalone. I grabbed my dip tray, and the way I really like to do this is by dumping a lot of the dip powder into the dip tray for ease of application. And I kind of like to take an orange stick and stir it up just so I can see where all the glitter is, because it'll come in handy later. So let's take some base coat and apply a first coat of base coat on. Good job, Millie. That was my toddler. She's potty training. So we got a nice coat of base on, and this first technique is just laying it right into the glitter without even considering like where the glitter is in the tray, just kind of going for it. And I'm going to take my orange stick and manipulate and maneuver the glitter around. When I do chunky glitter dips, I avoid having any chunks around the cuticle because I find that it, with the flat edges of the like larger glitter, prohibits having a clean looking cuticle line. So just each time you put the glitter onto your nail, take some time to press the glitter down and make sure everything is flat. So on my next nail, I'm going to show you what happens when you do sort of a pour over onto the nail, which is a technique a lot of people like to use. You can see here that when you do a pour over, what mostly sticks is the clear dip and not very many glitter. I like to do only 2 dips of chunky glitter, and I feel like with pour over it might require a little bit more, because with this one, to get the full coverage, because as you can see there's a lot of clear and not a lot of glitter and pigment that grabbed it. So this next technique is sort of like my favorite, because I'm going to take the orange stick and I'm going to move a lot of the larger glitter out of the way, but I'll still be able to choose where, like, what's being pressed onto the nail based on what I can see in the dip tray. So you can see with my pinky there's a ton of chunky glitter. With my ring finger there's hardly any, and then with my middle finger, because I was able to move around the dip in the dip tray, there's just the right amount. And for your first dip into the chunky glitter, you want some chunky glitters, but not like a whole lot, because for the next dip it's building on each other to create a layered effect and for full opacity of the color. And with each dip it's really important to clean up the cuticle and to really get the glitter put where you want it and press it down into the still damp base. The pressing with your finger is really where a lot of the shaping comes into play and helps minimize any filing I'm going to have to do after I've activated. I really love the dip tray because you can see exactly what you're putting your finger into. You have some control over it. Pressing the glitter is just really the most important part. And now, generally people will say use your brush and brush off all the excess. This time I don't want to do that. I like to keep the excess dip on. It kind of serves as half a dip, I feel like, in my mind. Because I'm only doing 2 dips. I want to keep what's on there and encapsulate what's on there as part of the dipping process. And this time I do want this next coat to be a little bit more on the glitterier side, like full chunky glitter side, to get more opacity so I don't have to go in and dip a third time. And these next few fingers I have sped up the video because it's more of the same, but I still think it's important to see just how much time and attention goes into each nail. And this is how you're going to make sure your dips are your glitter is laying really flat. And you want to investigate all your sidewalls and edges to make sure that there's coverage, and you can add a little bit more base. And just make sure each nail is perfect before moving on to the next, because that'll just save you so much time at the end with filing, and it saves a lot of frustration as well. And don't be shy with the base coat, because you're only doing 2 coats of the chunky glitter. You want the base to soak down through the first layer and have enough for the top, or the second dip, I mean. And if there's a glitter that is just giving you a hard time, take it off, because there's plenty on there. You can move around and add more. There's no sense fighting with the glitter when you can just do it fresh. now is definitely where you would take your brush and after your base is completely dried, brush off all that extra dip. Because now we are done with the glitter portion, but also this brushing off the dip gives you a chance to see where you might want to add some glitter, some more glitter, or on your sides of the nail if there's some spots that are maybe missed some dip, you can add more of that now, because now is the time to do it. It's important to take your time and make sure that your nails are exactly how you like them before moving on to the clear part. Okay, I'm happy with how these are looking. So now I'm just going to give my nails an extra scrub with the brush before I dip into clear to make sure that there's just nothing left on my nails. I'm really happy with how these are turning out. There's a few little glitters that are poking up, and I'm going to give them a trim because I don't want to file them down. I'd rather just clip them, and you won't even notice when everything is all done. So now I've got Dippsters clear powder called In the Clear, which I'm going to be encapsulating the glitter with. It is important to use a clear over your glitter dips so that you don't file off the color on the glitter. And it just makes filing and shaping so much easier. So you're going to need a healthy amount of base because it still is sinking down into the other dip layers you've done. And this base is on the thinner side, which is great. So you don't have to worry about your nails getting chunky. After you dip into clear, it's time to press again, just like you did before. And for me, I like to, as I notice the dip start to get wet again, I'll dip into clear again for like sort of a half dip. I don't know if that's a thing, but it's a thing for me. I call it a half dip. I really like to do a lot of clear. And really the pressing helps with shaping in the long run as well. I don't have to do as much surface filing. And you can see that the glitter, there was some surface texture from the glitter, and as soon as you press it down, it gets smooth. I'm hoping that glitter gets encapsulated. I can just press it down, but I don't think it's gonna work. I think I'm gonna have to trim it. Yeah. Now your pressing finger will get some glue on it, but it just peels right off, so don't worry about it. I think some people will put their finger in a plastic bag, like a little baggie, or wrap it in saran wrap. You can try. So now that I'm done with all my clear, I'm going to use my brush and brush off all the extra before I activate. I like to make sure that my base is dried all the way before I brush off my clear. That's why I'm activating some nails and I haven't brushed off the other ones yet, because I'm afraid of disturbing all that hard work I just did. So now I'm back. I have filed and shaped and cleaned up my hands. I like to use the 100 grit side of my file for my walls and my edges to get a nice shape because it's nice and rough. And then I use the 180 grit across the top for surface shaping. And then of course I use a buffing block to get things nice and smooth and soft. I've activated a second time already, and now I am ready to go right into top coat, the best part. Although I could totally wear these matte. I think this color is just beautiful. And you can tell that my coat, the dips aren't thick. Like there's a little bit of thickness to them. That's just sort of how it goes with chunkier dips. But as far as a thick glitter dip goes, my nails aren't thick. So here is the top coat, and we're just gonna get into it. Here they are, just waiting for my top coat to dry. And now that it's dry, I can go in with some cuticle oil. I am so excited about this color. These tones are just right up my alley, like the soft purples and the glitter, the rainbow glitter. I love it. So getting some cuticle oil on, super important for your nail health. I'm going to rub it off the nail so that you can really see the shine of this top coat and know that it's not just a bunch of oil I just rubbed on my nails. Look how pretty this is. Ah! So I hope that this was helpful. You can see that my surface on my nails is nice and smooth. And yeah, let me know if I forgot anything. I think I got everything, but give it a try. Let me know how this works.